Now we return to our coverage on President Buhari's visit to the U.S. And joining us in the studio to discuss this is international affairs expert and former staff of the Voice of America, Sunday Dari. Many thanks for coming on the news.
Thank you for having me.
Now quickly, let's start with what are the specific benefits that Nigeria would derive from this trip?
Well, first and foremost, I think in terms of the reputation and image of the country, we have a positive right now. The rating is better. The international community is looking at Nigeria in different lights. They see a country with a new opportunity to reach the heights which it can reach. They also see a government that has promised to bring about change and a government with which they can do business with. So I think the benefits will be multiple, and I think this visit to America opens the door for greater benefits.
Now, when you say greater benefits, what do you mean? And how can Nigeria capitalize on this new image it is getting?
Well, greater benefits politically in terms of diplomatic relations, greater benefits economically in terms of Nigeria being open for business and people believing that the government now in place will be more trustworthy, will be more honest, and will be corruption-free. Better opportunities in terms of image for Nigerians across the world, because the image of Nigerian is a problem. And every Nigerian that goes about doing business have to deal with the image of corruption, a government that is unserious, and I think all of this will start to change from now on.
Okay, now this trip is termed or has been termed as resetting relations with the U.S.
Right.
So what areas should both countries work together in terms of the fight against terror?
Well, that's based on the assumption that first the relations between Nigeria and the U.S. stopped at some point. I don't think it really stopped. What happened really is that the U.S. discounted Nigeria because of the kind of government it had. They felt we had a government that was unserious, a government that was not focused on the key things that needed to be done to move the country forward and to strengthen democracy. Now, the word reset is fine, but what I say is the U.S. government has decided now to kind of raise the level of diplomatic relations and engagement, the level of engagement with this new government. And I think that going forward, for the first time, you have a president who is less than 2 months in office. Buhari is the first president less than 2 months in office that gets an invitation to meet with the President of America. That itself is a statement that the U.S. sees this government as a promising government, a government they can do business with, and I think it raises the bar for this government as it goes forward.
So are you saying that this present government was the motivation force for them to, bring back that relationship that they had?
Absolutely. And when you look at the process that led to the emergence of Buhari and APC, the change of government, it was a near revolutionary process of which the U.S. government was interested and played a key role all till the last chapter. And when you had John Kerry come to the country a few weeks, he came to deliver a message to say, this time Nigeria must get it right in terms of having the free and fair elections, because the feel of change was in the air. They felt it the same way we felt it here, and they felt this country was ready for change.
Why do you think they were so interested?
Well, you see, they keep a very close tab on the political undercurrents, the intrigues, and what happens within Nigeria, just as they do for other countries. But Nigeria particularly gets a very intense and particular attention. So they've seen the undercurrents, they felt the pulse, and they know there's something happening here. Something is going to happen very soon. And they kept that close tab. And I think some of their predictions eventually came true. They knew that something was going to happen, a change of government will happen, and it occurred.
All right, now President Buhari will be meeting with the Nigerians in the diaspora.
The town hall meeting.
Yes, this evening over there in the U.S. Now, what do you think should be the key issues, or should be the issues that should be at the front burner, that should be discussed between the President and Nigerians over there?
Well, first let me say that will be an exciting, I guess it's going on right now, it should be an exciting meeting. When you look at what happened in South Africa when he visited, shortly after he was sworn in, you saw the excitement. Now, the issues have never really changed. The issue of how to improve the image of this country so that Nigerians living in America can get better deals when they talk, they're Nigerians or they have a passport, but also the issues of making sure that this country works. We have energy, we have good roads. In fact, we have perhaps national carriers that Nigerians can be proud of. So the issues have not really changed. What will happen today is they would like to get answers from the president and his men to say, what is the new deal you have for this country in terms of infrastructural development, in terms of employment, etc., etc., etc. So it will be more about the answers they get from the president and his men. So
after this trip, how do we move on from here?
Well, it's important that beyond the euphoria surrounding the trip, and I believe that the president's men are taking notes the same way the Americans are taking notes, there should be an action plan to determine what are the key issues that dominated this trip. First is about Boko Haram and security. The requests has been made to the U.S. government in terms of equipment, information sharing, and training. How do you follow through on that? Then you look at various aspects of economic partnership and also political.
Sunday Dare, many thanks for coming on the news.
Thank you
and
very
that's
much.
the much we can take.
Thank you
well, many thanks for, we've been speaking with Sunday Dare. He is an international affairs expert and a former staff of the Voice of America.